It was fast, furious and has left a trail of destruction. Sydney battered this afternoon by a snap storm which only lasted minutes. The wild weather bringing down dozens of trees and cutting power to tens of thousands of homes and businesses. Tonight the city is starting to mop up, some residents even cheating death.
Wind, rain and hail. A triple whammy belting the city at lunchtime. Officially, it was billed as a fast-moving thunderstorm. Whatever it was, it delivered a whiteout on the harbour and a wipeout on the streets.
It was horrendous. The noise was just incredible. There was one almighty gust and then the trees just started falling down everywhere. Dumares Street, Gordon, now Storm Alley. And it was not the only one on the map.
It was like a little tornado, I think.
At the other end of the city at Muito, a fallen tree did a demolition job on Greer Dobson's family home.
And looking at it, what are you thinking?
I'm just horrified, absolutely horrified.
This certainly was a hit-and-run weather event. It was all over in a matter of minutes. Now, the storm clouds have passed for the time being and the sun is out, and I'm in Willoughby, and there are scenes like this right across Sydney. After taking cover, Jared Barber emerged to find an already bad day had got worse.
I got clipped by a bus this morning.
Now you got a tree in the bonnet.
Oh well, at least it's written off now.
The main storm cell barrelled in through North Richmond and headed towards Davidson before cutting a path through the so-called leafy North Shore. Another system charged towards the south. This home at Oyster Bay was in its sights. Early reports suggest more than 100 trees down.
It was about 300 feet high and it's somewhere between 80 and 100 years old.
Trees into houses like Baz Jamal's in McIntyre Street, Gordon.
It happened within 30 seconds in total, and for the amount of damage that it caused, I'm just very surprised.
The number of cars trashed is anyone's guess. Down power lines made the situation that more dangerous. It left suburbs blacked out and businesses in the dark.
It just went crazy outside and things were flying everywhere, and then the power went out and there's a tree across the road, across the main road.
More than 70,000 homes from Lake Macquarie on the Central Coast and suburbs in Sydney's north, including Frenchs Forest, Hurstville and Janelli in the south, and Minto and Kemps Creek in the southwest have been affected. Lives upended in a matter of minutes. The immediate clean-up tonight is well underway. An early summer of bushfires. Now the storm season has checked in promptly as well. It has the Weather Bureau and Sydney-siders in a spin. Damien Ryan, 9 News.
And let's join the 9 News helicopter live over the suburb of Killara on Sydney's upper North Shore, where it's been hit hard as well. You see New South Wales Fire and Rescue, State Emergency Services personnel there. We've got trees down, roofs off. It is a mess, as Damien said in his lead report tonight. Let's go to Lizzie Pearl now. She's in the suburb of Ingleburn, where a fallen tree has caused a lot of damage there. Lizzie, a woman was watching television when it crashed into her lounge room. How's she doing this evening?
Yeah, good evening to you, Pete. Well, this young mum thankfully is okay. She was taken to hospital, but her injuries at this point don't seem to be too serious, which is really quite remarkable when you look at the force that this tree has come down with. This is the Moore family's front yard. This is the family car. It was an SUV. Now it's been pancaked. The rest of the tree, well, that is gone into the front of the house and into the living room. Inside, it's an absolute mess. I have spoken to the woman's husband, who knows just how lucky he and his young family are tonight.
I got a phone call. She's screaming, saying she was trapped. My little boy stands behind the TV at that front window looking outside all day.
So still a huge mess to clean up here in Ingleburn. This house is far too dangerous for the family to stay in tonight, so they've found somewhere else to stay, thankfully. But yeah, a huge mess for the SES and other emergency services to clean up, Pete.
Busy times ahead, Lizzie, thank you. The storm has had a dramatic knock-on effect, but first of all, I want to go to Laura Tunstall. She's joining us from Gordon on the upper North Shore. Now, Laura, you're at St John's Church. What a mess there.
Yeah, it sure is, Pete. And to give you an indication of just how strong those winds were, have a look at this massive tree behind me. It has been completely split in two. There is another gum tree which has fallen over here. That tree has actually damaged the roof of the church. Witnesses who were here for this storm have described the winds as being almost circular-like, a bit like a cyclone. Another tree has fallen down behind me here. That is actually the hall of the church, and one of those branches has damaged the church kitchen. We saw inside the roof has completely collapsed in there. There is a big clean-up that is going to have to get underway here. I am told that there were actually church workers in this car park when the storm passed through. They are just very grateful this evening that nobody was injured, Pete.
All right, Laura, thank you. Now, the storm has had a big effect on train platforms across the upper North Shore tonight, the wild weather disrupting services, and we can report there are delays and cancellations.
This afternoon, no one was going anywhere in a hurry. Long queues and limited buses at Hornsby Station.
It's 1 p.m, mate, Central Station. I'm stuck here in Hornsby now, been here for 3 hours, mate.
The left hand doesn't know what the right hand's doing.
Train commuters left temporarily stranded after services were suspended on the upper North Shore, delays also on the Western Line. As for the Central Coast, there were no trains at all.
All the trains that are coming through were cancelled or can't get there. You've got to try and get as far as you can.
If there's buses, obviously I'll have to get on the bus, otherwise I'll have to ring my husband and see whether he can come and get me.
The wild weather wreaked havoc across the city, bringing down trees. This one came crashing down between Gordon and Hornsby. Large branches were left tangled in the lines. More than half a dozen incidents disrupting the network.
A number of trees have come down onto the tracks, which have actually caught up with our overhead wire system.
Sydney Trains conducting urgent power supply repairs as commuters began their long trek home. Other services experiencing flow-on delays, passengers urged to allow extra time.
There will be delays as the buses are trying to weave through some difficult traffic situations as well, and we're doing all we can to restore services as quickly as possible.
This is the current situation at Wynyard Station. It is absolutely packed with people. Train services have just started running again between Hornsby, Barowra and the Central Coast. There will still be extensive delays because it is going to take a while to clear that backlog. People are being told to delay all non-essential travel. So, Pete, it is going to be a very long night for some commuters.
Natalia, thank you for that. Amber's with me in the studio. Did we get the rain out of the wild weather?
Good evening, Pete. Now, the heaviest falls were in our north and southwestern suburbs, but many suburbs missed out altogether. Terry Hills received 7 millimetres of rain. That was the heaviest. Cromer and Manly picked up 4 millimetres, while Camden saw 3 millimetres. The main feature, as we've seen, was the winds. Northwesterlies reaching more than 100 kilometres an hour at Fort Denison, while the Harbour, Camden and Richmond all saw gusts of more than 90 kilometres an hour. A vigorous cold front is behind this volatile weather, and while we sweltered, we've seen blizzards in the snowy mountains. This is Perisher, can you believe it, just a short time ago. Back in Sydney, and it will be windy and dusty tonight. We could see another shower or storm. I'll be back with a full forecast a little later, Pete.
OK, Amber, thank you for that.